Hello there, and thanks for visiting the Varykino YouTube channel. I'm Kristy.
And I'm Matt.
We're long-standing Star Wars fans who live and breathe Star Wars every day.
Welcome to another installment of our week of Star Wars, a series recapping the Star Wars fun we've had during the past week. First up, we were pleasantly surprised by the release of the Tales of the Empire trailer late last week.
This had been announced early last year, but we didn't really know when we would get a trailer or first look or even a release date for it. So having the trailer drop out of the blue, we hadn't seen any kind of leaked information about the trailer dropping, and having the release date so soon of May 4th is super exciting. We really enjoyed the first installment of 6 shorts that focused on Ahsoka Tano and Count Dooku. This follow-up to Tales of the Jedi, this one is Tales of the Empire, is going to focus on Morgan Elsbeth. I absolutely loved her character in The Mandalorian and Ahsoka live-action series, and for me, personally, I am a big fan of Barriss Offee, so I'm really excited to get a little bit of a continuation of her story in this anthology series, because she features in episode 2, but we don't really see what happens to her after episode 3 and the events of Order 66, because as we know in the animated series, The Clone Wars, she is no longer part of the Jedi Order, and I was always really wondering, especially since we see a few of the other Inquisitor characters that are very clearly Miri Allen, the same species as Barriss Offee. So there was a lot of speculation as to whether she was an Inquisitor, because she kind of goes to the dark side a little bit. She's no longer a Jedi. So I am super excited to see that we get a little bit more of her story. And personally for me, I have been a fan of Barriss for a long time. I have costumed her on many occasions. I even met the original episode 2 actress while in my Barriss Offee costume. That was a highlight for me. So I am so very excited. And of course, following 2 of my favorite characters here, we've got Morgan Elsbeth and Barriss Offee, and there was just so many fun moments. We've got the Grand Inquisitor in there, we've got General Grievous, we've got Admiral Thrawn. He's not mentioned as Grand Admiral yet in this teaser trailer. It's just so excited. I cannot wait. What a fun surprise for Star Wars fans on May 4th.
Yeah, I'm really a big fan of this format of storytelling as well, to be honest. Even though they're described as shorts, they're all released on the same night, so it makes for quite a good evening of viewing. And the fact that it focuses on just a couple of characters and really embellishes on their backstory, I think is a great way to expand what we know about some of our, as you say, favorite characters.
I really hope that this is just the first and second installment in perhaps an annual tradition of releasing sort of these more focused Star Wars animated stories, because there's such a wide scope that they can do now that we're sadly coming towards the end of the Bad Batch and that kind of epic Clone Wars era. We can really start to explore some other periods and characters that are out there.
Now, it's usually Kristy that speaks about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile app, because she's been playing for many years, but I'm going to have a little bit of a blurb this time round because I actually got into it in this past week. I've been meaning to get into it for a little while now, but the catalyst for actually installing it and launching my squad and characters is the announcement that they're going to be releasing a PC client very soon, and the beta test is opening up also very soon. And this means that we're able to play on multiple devices with progress and character sets fully synchronized between the devices. So I've already found it very addictive, of course, as you would have sort of gathered from Kristy's descriptions of the gameplay along the way. And the other thing that I really wanted to sort of discover, we generally know this, but I wanted to confirm it for myself, was how viable the game is for a new player starting out right now. Because, of course, if you've been playing for a very long time, you'll have some very well geared and established and large, broad range of characters to choose from. And I've been able to confirm very clearly that it is a very fun game to get going right from the get-go. So if you're interested in dipping your toes in this, now is still perfectly a good time to do so.
Yeah, I've been playing since shortly after it launched, more than 8 years ago. So I've been kind of watching over Matt's shoulder as he's playing the game as a new account, and really seeing how they kind of really help you through that process of learning all of the details and really fast tracking your pace, because there are so many characters in the game now. You know, when I started playing, we didn't have The Mandalorian. It was just around the time that we got The Force Awakens. So even those characters were slowly being added to the game. And so we've got so much more. So it's really been fun seeing how fast they catch up new players so that you can get really into the thick of it and really start expanding your squad, working on characters and really learning and expanding into those higher tier of gameplay. So I'm really having fun helping them with a few hints in there, but the game does really well walking new players through so that they can catch up and get to the really, really fun stuff. And of course, having played this for more than 8 years, I am super excited about the ability to play on a PC. So I've got, a bigger screen, I can really play, and we can actually perhaps even stream content. I know a lot of content creators are excited about this, to be able to have it on your computer and use the streaming software to stream onto their favorite platforms. So I'm super excited about this. Hopefully the beta test won't take too long and everyone will be able to enjoy this on the PC very soon.
Last week's installment of The Bad Batch on Disney Plus was a double installment. We saw the episodes Identity Crisis and Point of No Return. Very much enjoyed both of those. Really getting into some interesting story arcs and developments there without going into too many spoilers.
Yeah, these were quite darker in tone episodes. I know that there is some, we got a little bit of a hint of some of the things that are coming out. Some of the voice actors have given a few tidbits here and there. So I want like a happy resolution to this series, but there are some things that go on in these 2 episodes that are very darker in tone. So I'm a little bit on edge about what's in store for the Bad Batch.
I guess
particularly Omega in the next episode.
Yeah, I mean, we're midway through the season, so I guess they're dialing up the jeopardy to have everybody on the edge of their seats, and they've very much succeeded in doing that.
But yeah, desperately waiting for the next episode because it kind of left on a little bit of a cliffhanger and I really need to see what happens next.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a little bit of resolution, but I don't think we'll get all of the resolution we want or expect just yet. I think that's going to span over a good few episodes.
And in other Star Wars watching news, we mentioned in a previous episode that we were going to be launching into season 3 of The Mandalorian. We've only watched the first episode in this past week.
So far.
For reasons, because we actually celebrated our 17th wedding anniversary and we were out of town for a good chunk of this past week. So we only did manage to watch 1 episode of The Mandalorian before we headed out of town. But we had a lot of Star Wars fun while we were out of town. It's always fun when you're in a new city to explore some of your kind of favorite stores. Of course, we had to hit up the local toy stores, collectible stores, comic book stores, and see what kind of Star Wars stuff we could find. New Zealand is a little bit of a small place, but the stores do vary from city to city. So we had fun checking out to see what they had on offer. We spotted some new product that we hadn't seen yet on store shelves in our home city, Auckland. We're hoping they do show up very, very soon because we're definitely keen to add those to our collection and we didn't have too much space in our luggage. And we also checked out some comic book stores, lots of cool comics there that we want to add to our reading list very shortly. All in all, we had a lot of fun and it was a great way to spend our wedding anniversary.
One other very interesting thing that we did last week that we've been waiting for to actually kick off was what has been described as a Star Wars immersive experience at a few branches of the local Westfield malls around Auckland. We're showing up in other parts of the country as well down the line. Now, this was focusing on Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, mostly advertising what it is and what's available there and promoting it. But we had a bit of fun checking out the installment that they had set up inside the malls and the video experience that came with that, and they were giving out Batuu-themed posters as well.
Westfield Malls had been teasing this for a couple of weeks. It is in collaboration with a local travel agency that is giving away trips to California to visit Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. So we'd been waiting to see what the actual Star Wars experience was in the malls that they had been teasing. And they had these big pods where you were invited in to kind of sit down and put on headphones and sort of watch a little bit of an immersive experience of what it's like to be in Galaxy's Edge in California. There's a little bit of storyline. You see the characters and the locales there. They tease it a little bit. It was really fun for New Zealanders that haven't had the opportunity to travel to the US parks and see Galaxy's Edge for themselves. And once you had viewed the experience and exited the installation, you got to choose from one of 4 Galaxy's Edge posters. And because we had a few friends with us, we were able to collect all 4 posters, which was really fun. 2 of them feature the Millennium Falcon, which of course is a very big landmark from the park, and the other two were more generic Galaxy's Edge. But, we are collectors at heart. Of course, we wanted all 4, so we're very excited to complete our collection there.
So those Galaxy's Edge travel posters were quite cool acquisitions, and for free no less, but that does lead us into discussion about our other recent purchases during the past week. We picked up the Funko Fifth Brother pop vinyl figure from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, heavily discounted, one of the last ones we need from that series.
And I was very excited to find the Lego Brickheads Obi-Wan Kenobi series, Obi-Wan and Vader 2-pack. This one had sold out at our local Lego store, so we were really happy to be able to find it elsewhere and add it to our collection. And lastly, but not least, we were able to find the Hasbro Epic Hero action figures. We weren't even sure if these would show up locally for us here in New Zealand. Now, I know these aren't targeted to most collectors. These seem to be more for children and the younger collectors, but I was really drawn to the packaging, and every time Hasbro makes a different backing card style, I just want to sort of add an example or two to my collection, because it's really fun looking back and seeing all the different backing card styles that they have done over the years. So for our collection, we picked up Ahsoka and Darth Vader. We kind of picked out one each that we thought would be quite fun. And I just really like the colors on the packaging. I know the figures are a little bit more simple, but they do remind me of sort of the retro Kenner style action figures that Hasbro's also been doing. So I kind of get the fun, quirky 5-point of articulation figure sculpting. And if it's Ahsoka, I definitely want to add it to my Ahsoka collection. So very happy to have that one.
So let's talk briefly about the YouTube videos we have released in the past week. We opened up Anakin Skywalker's Jedi Interceptor from the Hot Wheels range.
I take a look at the Hot Toys Cosbaby range with Boba Fett, Bo-Katan, and Ahsoka. These are similar in size to Funko Pop vinyls, but they have their own individual style, and I think they are so cute. I definitely want to add more of these to my collection.
The detail on those is surprisingly good for sort of stylized caricatures of those important characters. They're very, very fun.
And to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Celebration Europe in London, which we were fortunate enough to be able to attend, I opened up the Celebration exclusive Funko Pop Vinyl 2-pack of R2-D2 and R5-D4. These are so cute. I think the droids always look really well done in the Funko Pop Vinyl style. And following on from that, while we were at Celebration last year, we stopped by the Hasbro booth when they were giving out samples from the Bounty collection, and during our numerous visits we picked up 4, which included Grogu, 2 different Lola droids, and BD1. And I had accidentally misplaced these after sorting through our suitcases from London, stumbled across them the other day while I was doing some action figure sorting, and thought, yes, I need to get these out and unboxed. And I thought that was perfect timing for the 1-year anniversary of Celebration where we picked them up. So very fun to finally have those on display.
Yeah, also noteworthy is that the Bounty collection's been going for a little while now, but this was the first wave that had non-Grogu characters in it, and those droids look really, really cool in that series.
So some of our unboxings this week were a little on the simpler side. I know many of you are used to our usual fare of Micro Galaxy Squadrons and Black Series and TVC, but we did have to pre-film these because, as we mentioned earlier, we were away for most of this past week. So never fear, those were ones that we had filmed prior to our trip so that we still had some videos for you all to watch, and we will be getting right back into some very exciting brand new Micro Galaxy Squadron unboxings coming up very soon, along with continuing our Bad Batch openings of Black Series figures. We've got some new ones coming up there. So lots of fun unboxings coming really soon this next week.
On that note, thanks for listening to another episode of Our Week of Star Wars. We appreciate you taking your time to listen to us.
And stay tuned for another episode next week. And as always, may the Force be with you. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. Check out our other videos and subscribe for alerts about new uploads. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.